It's our 200th daily. And well, they said that we could do whatever we wanted to. So Roger and I discussed it, and we thought it'd be really cool to show you how I converted my Free Guild Spearmen, because loads of people have been asking. Now, to do this, there's one kit that's kind of the core part of it, and that is a box of Kyric Acolytes. You definitely need a box of these to do this conversion. And then what you need is some round Stormcast shields, and there's lots of ways of getting these, but what I used was this Knights Excelsior upgrade kit, but there's lots of other ones. If you've got some Prosecutors, for example, you'll have some round shields in those kits. Now, the other parts are kind of things that are just spares, things that you'll find in your bits box, but I'm going to go through the kits that they come in, so you know where you can get hold of these parts if they aren't in your bits box. You'll be able to find some friends who have got them, for example. The first thing is a box of Liberators, and what we need this for is the offhand parrying daggers that they have, and also the little daggers that go at their waists as well. They look particularly cool with these guys. The next kit is some Chaos Marauder Horsemen, and this is for the heads. You get loads and loads of spare heads in this kit, so it's perfect for this kind of thing. And then finally what you'll need is some spear hands. Now, I use these Dread Spear ones, but of course there's loads of different models with spear, so there's loads of different things you could use here. But the first thing you need to do for this conversion is start off with the core of it, which is a Kyric Acolyte. So I'm going to start building one of those now. I'm going to start building the one that's just these parts here, parts 56, 57, and we've got 58 and 59 as well. And as I'm building these parts, I'm just going to be looking at them carefully for any obviously Tzeentch parts. A great example would be this little dagger here, which I'll just remove as I'm assembling these components. I finished building the body now, and you can see I removed that knife, but also I decided just to remove the pointy part on the end of that shoulder plate there, just to take away that Tzeentch element from it a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is add a head, and I've got this one just here, which is from the Marauder Horseman set. Now, you can see the neck fitting is not remotely similar, so we need to adjust that to make it fit. The first thing is going to be to flatten off the top of the neck of our Acolyte here. So using my clippers, what I'm going to do is just start snipping it down like this, and then use a knife or a file just to get that a little bit flatter. As for the helmet, what we need to do is remove this rounded part just down here. So we're going to use my clippers first of all, then use a knife and a file just to get a little bit closer, checking every now and then to make sure it's getting closer and closer to fitting. And also, I'm going to be sure to remove these horns as well. The head is now glued on, and you can see if I just turn it to the side, the kind of fitting I've got. I've just taken my time cutting down either side there to get a really good fit. And now the next part is, well, a little optional bit. If you manage to get hold of one of these little daggers from the Stormcast, if you want, you can glue it on here as a little backup sword, but that's entirely optional. If you do want to do it though, now's the time to do it, because after that, we need to put on the shield, and the shield will make that bit quite tricky. Now, as you can see, the shield won't exactly fit straight away because of the straps that the model's holding in his hand. So what we need to do is remove those. This is dead simple. All you got to do is just use your clippers just to remove them like this. So that on that side, and then we've got one underneath as well. There we go. And with those removed, it'll be a much better fit now. If you need to trim it anymore, just do so with your knife. So I've glued on the backup sword and also the shield as well, and our Spearman's really coming together. But of course, a Spearman needs a spear, so we need to get that ready now. So this is going to be a little sub-assembly doing this. The first thing I've got here is one of these Dread Spears, and then of course we need to remove the arm to get down to the hand. Now, to do this, what I recommend you do is just work away gradually at it. First of all, starting by removing the majority of it with your clippers there like that, and then just getting closer and closer to the actual hand itself. Now, when you get really close to it, you'll have to use a knife just to finish cleaning it up, but just take your time and be careful as you do this. I've finished cutting down that arm and the spear now, and we can now check the fit. So you can see this is going to go on just here. We might need to trim down some of that wrist arm a little bit, but you can see now what it's going to look like. But I wanted to make the spear look a little bit more like it was forged in Azerheim. So to do this, what I've got is one of these offhand daggers from the Stormcast Liberators, and my plan is to replace the blade of the spear here with this one. So it's going to go on around about there. So of course, to do this, what we need to do first of all is remove the spear from the spear tip here from this part. So what I'm going to do is clip it around about there, just cutting it there like that. Then, as for the offhand dagger, we've got to do the same sort of thing, but removing the handle. Now, I want to be really careful here of damaging the crossguard. So what I'm going to do is just start cutting a short distance away, around about there, and then just gradually work my way down towards the actual crossguard. And once we've done that, we can stick the two together. And here I have both parts cut down, ready to be glued together. But as you can imagine, just sticking it like there is going to give quite a weak joint. So what I want to do is pin that there to give it some more strength. Now, if you don't know what pinning is, basically what this means is I'm going to drill a hole into both components and then put a little piece of paper clip into it to give it a bit more strength. To do it, what you need is a drill, and I'm using the smallest drill bit size that we've got here. And what you do is just get one of the parts where you're going to drill into it, and then just take your time lining up the drill with the centre of it. So I'm looking at about there, and then very gently just start drilling into the part there like that. And you can go down as far as you want to. I don't think I need to go all that far on this one, just enough to make the paperclip stable as I go in there. So I'm going to take my time now, just drilling down into this. And there we go, that should be far enough down. So we need to do this now on the other side as well. So I've got the spear tip here. As you can see though, the spear does get narrow very quickly, so we can't go that far into this one. So just be careful when you're doing this part. So again, if I just line that up with the middle there, and then just gently start drilling into this part. Okay, there we go. So with that done, now what I need to do is get the paper clip and cut this to the right length. So I'm not going to go very far into the spear tip here, so I know I don't need to have it all that long. But what I'm going to do is just measure it about there like that. And so I see I need to cut that much off there. So if I get my clippers and just cut this, once I've cut it in half, I can now stick this into the parts using some super glue. And here we have the fully assembled spear ready to be glued on to the rest of our spearmen. So this is going to go on just around here, and like I said earlier, I might just need to trim the back of that wrist armour to get a good fit, and yes I will do, just a little bit out the back there. But what I'm going to do now is go and do that, glue this on, and our spearmen will be complete. And here we have our fully built Free Guild Spearman, and you could add a crest to the helmet as well if you wanted to, and Stormcast Eternals kits are fantastic sources for parts like that, but of course the choice whether you do or not is entirely up to you. So we really hope you enjoyed this video and this conversion as well, and maybe you'll even have a go. But mostly, thanks for joining us for the last 200 episodes, and thanks for engaging with us too. So from Roger and myself and the rest of the Warhammer community team, here's to another 200. Got it.